fitness components for individuals and serves as an information hub for policymakers to establish monitoring systems at local, regional, and national levels. Professor Jurak's extensive experience in establishing national programs and IT projects related to health-enhanced physical activity has been instrumental in the success of Fitback and similar initiatives. His leadership in international organizations and forums further underscores his commitment to promoting physical fitness and education on a global scale. Through Fitback, Professor Jurak and his team continue to provide valuable resources and support for the development of physical fitness monitoring systems, ultimately aiming to improve the health and well-being of children and adolescents through Europe. So please welcome Professor Jurak, and now we have around 70 minutes or close to 80 minutes to the dissemination of the feedback.
Should I speak on the mic because of the...
You need?
No, because of the participants.
No, there is the...
Okay.
Here is the sound.
Okay. Thank you very much, Damash, for this introduction. So I'm very honored to be here to present this team effort. So I'm leading the Fitback network, coordinating this, and I would like to present the latest result of this network. It was presented also in the webinar, and I know that some of you were also there, but I will go slightly in other direction because I will focus more on demonstration of this toolkit here. So I hope you will not be bored, and you also have time to browse by yourself. So this is my presentation. It's a little bit, I don't know why, masked. However, I hope you will see the point. So I will go through these topics, and first topic is what is actually Fitback. So Fitback is on one hand the network of people across the Europe mostly. However, we are now already from almost 32 countries of the world, not just from Europe. And we are scientists mostly, and also educators, also some policymakers who are keen to support fitness monitoring in some region, country, municipality. And we are quite diverse. So we are people who already have such kind of systems, like also in Hungary, they have a NetFit, in Slovenia we have StopFit, and also in Finland and some other countries. And we have also countries without any kind of monitoring, but people over there, they are interested to have it. So we are sharing these practices, and even more important is that we are sharing practices how to properly address this question, because we know that there is a stigma around the physical fitness monitoring. So this second project that I will talk about, and this result is especially oriented to how fitness monitoring should be integrated in educational setting. And here are the key topic here is competencies of PE teacher. And on the other side, Fitback is a platform. So I will also show you this platform. It's free of charge. It's multilingual, currently in 6 languages. However, this toolkit that I will show you is supported right now in 15 languages. But at the end, I will also present you how you can also supply in your language. So it's easy to, we provided, let's say, so open source tool, so it can be easily translated also in your language, these subtitles combined with, let's say, Google translation of some text. So I will go fast with this introduction when it comes to scientific background. So we started this project on really hard evidence that fitness is really important, but yet not recognized as a really important issue when it comes to health as well as education. So there is plenty of evidence how fitness is important for the health outcome, but not just for health outcome. We also for acquiring skills in children, which is important from the social aspect and lifelong then physical activity. Among members of Fitback, we have really eminent colleagues like Fran Ortega, Jonathan Ruiz, and others. So we have a lot of knowledge on fitness within this group. And on the other side, like I said, we have a lot of experience also how we can perform this in a real setting. Because one thing is to implement, to talk about fitness measurements, and another thing is feasibility, how this can be conducted in school setting. So, for instance, in Slovenia, we have over 40 years of experience performing this in school setting, and we already had one system before, so 50 years ago, but this system was not feasible to conduct. Therefore, this is also one important aspect when it comes when you want to establish something like this. So these are some steps. I will not elaborate this because we also prepared a paper how to actually establish physical fitness monitoring system. But more important is that, of course, there could be a debate which test should be used. But we based our work on tests which are internationally recognized as the core tests for physical fitness, and this is actually high priority alpha fitness battery. For instance, in Slovenia, we are not using all of these tests. We have some different tests, but some are overlapping. But this is not limiting us to also use Fitback platform, because it's very useful when it comes to competencies of PE teachers, how they should actually perform fitness testing to enhance physical literacy. So recently, this paper was published, and all these tests except waist circumference were also adapted as those tests who are appropriately in different cultures. So this is international consensus that these tests are really the ones that should be used as core tests, but of course countries can add their culturally, let's say, important tests. So why I'm saying this? Because this is incorporated in fitness reports that we created on Fitback platform. So within Fitback platform, I will show you this later. You can enter the results. These results are not stored. This is one of the important features which is also dependent from GDPR. But you can immediately get on the fly feedback on results which are in two, let's say, from two aspects. One is from comparing with your peers in Europe, and another criterion is to be compared with some health risk. To establish this, we performed a really big investigation. So we gathered 8 million data points for fitness of these tests across the Europe, and based on this, we created these centiles, and these centiles are implemented in this reporting system. We also then searched for evidence about these tests and health outcomes, and based on this, we also filled the gaps that are within some, let's say, findings, and implemented this as well as three-color health risk zones that are visible here. So we have like a raw score, then we have these zones, as well as we have centiles for each kit. This allows us to really have a comprehensive feedback on each report, and you can already see here that we are providing also some description of the results, as well as also advice how somebody should improve. And I will show you later on. We have also prompt for the chatbot. So this is the latest feature that we have. And we also tested these reports in original project, and we found that teacher perceive it as user-friendly and health tool, so they can use it also within their schools in PE. And I already mentioned that we also, from the perspective of those countries that we have a monitoring system, we analyze how some region or country could design a physical fitness monitoring system, and we are providing 10 steps with infographics how to do this. So Fitback network supports all those countries who want to actually establish this kind of system, and we are free of charge. So, and we are open to everybody who is interested to this. So I will now focus more on this toolkit. So this toolkit somehow upgrades the original project. Why? Okay, you can provide teachers these assessments, fancy reports, etc. But the real problem here is how teachers will use this in a school setting. So that's why we are addressing this gap among the competencies of teachers to monitor fitness testing, and that this should be in some kind of meaningful way for them, as well as, of course, for students. And we have here the gap. We know that we have. So, for instance, public health is really enthusiastic on fitness evidence. Why? Because it's very closely connected with the health outcomes, especially in children. You don't have a better indicator of health as fitness. But on the other side, with some, let's say, bad practices in educational setting, you could also harm children. You could get some stigma about the fitness levels, etc., and fitness testing. So, of course, there is some skepticism of using fitness testing. And, of course, both of these areas are connected because the evidence demonstrates that the most efficient fitness testing or fitness monitoring is in school settings. For instance, these are some evidence how important is not just cardiorespiratory but also muscular fitness, and also from the public health perspective, the first two major priorities are associated with fitness monitoring and fitness surveillance. But on the other side, of course, we have some criticism from some authors on educational fitness, that fitness can lead to stigma among students, and therefore some authors believe that there should not be fitness assessment at all, and also that fitness in children is dependent on so many factors that cannot be modified in PE. And as well as in last years, those who are really keen to promote physical literacy, that this is quite unique journey, and there should be no benchmarking, which is actually happening with fitness reporting. However, in Fitback network, we are strongly believe that fitness monitoring and fitness and physical literacy concepts can be integrated and should be actually really well connected, no disconnected. So I would like to define those two phenomena to exactly know what we are talking about. So when we are talking about physical monitoring, we have to know that this is not just one time point observation of fitness, which is true for the fitness testing. So fitness monitoring is actually to check the progress of fitness over a period of time with special purpose. So mostly to check individual development trend. While fitness surveillance is mostly for policymakers. So fitness monitoring is more also, we have identification of students here. In fitness surveillance, there is no is generalization of results. There is no identification. There are anonymized results. And also, fitness monitoring is closely associated with other processes that we have in PE classes. Of course, we have to first check where we are based on these results. We then set goals, and then we are designing plan, we exercise, we track project, and what is really important from the perspective of physical literacy, we have to understand the changes. So the meaningful fitness monitoring is to provide feed forward as well as feedback. So it's really important not just to perform some, let's say, standing long jump. Students have to understand what is standing long jump for, with what kind of motor ability is behind, how is this important for their everyday life, for their health outcomes, for free time, how they can address or how they can exercise, what kind of exercise methods they should use to improve, and then they should apply the exercise and see if their fitness has changed or not. This is really important, not to apply fitness monitoring just per se. But this is a journey to understand the changes that are behind. So, therefore, fitness testing should not be just one more school assessment, because otherwise it will be perceived very wrong from the kids and also from their parents as well as teachers. So this feedback is really important. So feed up to understand the test score, feedback to setting goals, and feed forward for action. Okay, so I will now try to explain about the feedback platform. So we have several target groups over there for feedback platform. And of course, one important target group are teachers. And this toolkit is meant to be for teachers. The purpose of toolkit is to support teachers how they will introduce fitness monitoring in their classes. And we have 11 scenarios how to use this fitness monitoring. And these scenarios are backed up with 22 topics. And currently we have a multi-language support in these languages. So at this point, I will skip to platform. So to show you features of this platform. So like I already presented before, we have this interactive report. Within this interactive report, first you will get a sheet for entering the data. For instance, I will go to English one, but we have also in other languages. And this is for kids to write their scores during the classes, not to have smartphones there, but they can also get to some content via the QR codes which are here. Then, when they're entering the scores, and this is not necessary that they are entering, this could be done by parents, this could be done by teacher, it's optional, so it's you can implement different kind of models here. I will now, I hope I will manage with Hungarian keyboard. Okay.
It's gonna be not in the fitness zone. So the date, the first date, Gregor is not yeah. Now it's okay.
Okay, I think this guy is 10 years old, so I will give, this is a little high, but nevertheless. So immediately it will calculate the body mass index, and here then also zone. And you can see that also within the shot and run, according to the gender or sex and weight, it will be calculated VO2 max, etc. So these are the, let's say, all scores of this kit. And so kit is getting this result, and where there is a, let's say, weaker performance, he or she can then get some some advice. For instance, we have some advices how to improve muscular power, which is associated with standing long jump. And here you have these infographics, how to practice for different kind of zones that are here. Of course, teachers should individualize this according to the specifics, but these are general recommendations. So we have this in several languages as well. But going back to the report, we can also create prompt for chatbot. So we tested several chatbots, how they are performing, and we decided for several of them. And of course, there is a limitation here, and we are describing this limitation within Toolkit. I will show you later on. So for instance, now I will say, okay, I would like to have a exercise plan for next 2 months, and I would like to also to provide me some tips how to stay motivated, and then I can go for this kind of chatbots, and I choose. Is this correct, Tamas, to click here?
Sorry?
Is this correct to click here? Okay. Nan?
No, turn. Oh, no, sorry. Nan?
Nan.
Go Nan. Okay, go down. Click, roll down. Probably. Yeah. On the right. Yeah. Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
So I will paste right now here, and I can chat with the chatbot, and he's providing me some tips, and of course we have over there described how you could interact with the chatbot. For instance, I have a dog, and I would like to practice with him. Okay, him. So you can then interact with chatbot and find, for instance, some even more. But I will stop at this end because this is not the only thing that I have to show to you. Furthermore, here we have also group report. Tamas, I would need your help now because I have to upload from my key, and I don't know where to find it. I already searched here.
This is yours?
Yes. Then this can you copy to the somewhere else. Yeah, but I will not.
We will not upload.
It will not upload. Now it will open. I have to move somewhere that I can upload. Okay, great. Thanks. So I will show you right now. So here you can also download Excel data template, and based on this, you can then enter data for group, not just for individual, and then you can create a report which can support you to set an exercise for this group. For instance, we would like to have a 6-month exercise and setting goals according to current physical fitness. So now I uploaded these results, and and these results will show you what kind of scores we should get in 6 months to improve our fitness. So each student will have a goal which is the next health zone. For instance, currently this Amelia has, for instance, or Isabella, no, let's say for shuttle run. Yeah, Emma has a shuttle run 3 stages to reach the healthy zone. She should have 3.7 stages, etc. So you can individualize their goal setting according to their current fitness levels, and also you can see what is the structure of health risk zones. For instance, here you can see that they are worse in power, which is measured by standing long jump. So teachers should devote more topic or more lessons to this kind of, let's say, content. And even more, teacher can observe what is the difference within the group. For instance, here you have this, the dotted line is median, and you have this first and third quartile. And in the standing long jump, you can see that the median is actually on this intermediate zone. However, in the shuttle run, the median is already in the, let's say, fit zone. So those kids who are in the median, they are not poor, they are quite good. Therefore, it's really important to know how diverse is this fitness within the group, then to have a really good teaching. For instance, when a teacher will perform classes, he or she can have a method that will address this huge difference within the class. So he has 2 girls who are more fit, while some others are less fit for standing long jump. Okay, so this is when it comes to reporting.
Gregor, just sorry. Maybe there is an opportunity to make some interaction.
Yeah,
because based on the on this topic. So if any of you have a question or wants to add something or asking something about the toolkit or the platform, yeah, just go. Okay, so anytime if you have questions, just raise your hands, and Gregor is trying to.
How many questions do you want?
Now? You want to start now?
I don't know whether he wants to start now or later.
Yeah,
I think we should
it's
go
associated with reporting.
It's associated. I've just made some notes in relation to everything you've done so far.
Okay, so Nigel, I would suggest if you have specific questions to the different topics of the homepage at the moment, you can do it, and we will have general discussion at the end. Okay.
So I'll leave it to the general discussion.
Okay, if you can keep it till the end, I guess it's more valuable. Okay.
Okay. Then I will skip to the toolkit. So this toolkit, like I said, is meant to be for PE teachers. And the structure of toolkit is that we have an animation, and below the animation there is some text which is associated. All the scenarios are also associated or divided in three different cognitive levels. So from declarative to conditional, and in each scenario there is a mark of what kind of cognitive level is addressed with this scenario. For instance, you have here this scenario. So before testing, what should be done, and then how to set SMART goals about cardiorespiratory fitness, peer support, etc. So it's really important that teachers follow this scenario. If they are not keen with fitness testing, especially because already before fitness testing, you should provide the appropriate environment. For instance, I will show you this how this is actually in this toolkit. So this is a scenario and how long it should be performed, and then also which topics are associated with this. For instance, I will shortly show you this scenario, and then yeah, I noticed that I forgot to to actually mention you really important stuff when, which is associated also with individual reports. So you can store this data. You can also share the link to this data. And you can of course also store the report. However, nothing is stored automatically. This is the current principle on the web platform. So teacher can create their own database, but of course this is much different that we have, for instance, Slovenia, when we have a user registration, etc. However, this will probably or maybe come if we will get a grant for one of the next projects, because we have an idea how to also provide this and support countries on this. So I have showed you one scenario. Like I said, we have several of them. These are scenarios, and then we have 4 topics which support scenario like physical fitness, and within you have these topics. So also how to measure fitness, for instance. And then we have also chapter about the physical literacy to describe what it is and the power of feedback, how important it is, what are centiles, what are health risk zones, how to use the feedback report, etc. And also about the exercising. For instance, how teachers and, of course, students can use chatbot. So what are the some Okay, I cannot run anymore these videos. There are, I think, around for 3 hours of these videos. So, but they are all very informative for teachers. So they are specific. They are not general ones. So also, right now we are conducting the pilot in 10 countries. Teachers are using this. So this is kind of intervention that we first instruct them the purpose and how to use this, and then we have these learning communities within each country. So regularly, monthly, we are meeting with these teachers, discussing with them scenarios as well as challenges and experience. So, and we also had one international this community. We will have another one in May. So currently we have a really positive feedback from their side. They are perceiving this as very useful tool for them. And I will not show you any more demonstration of these videos. However, you can browse by yourself. But within this presentation, you have noticed that I also changed the subtitles of these videos. This can be done easily. So in my last these minutes before the discussion, I will just skip the presentation to show you how easily you can support these in your languages. So you just need a Google account, and within the YouTube Studio, we will give you access, and you can then have AI translated also these subtitles, and you just correct these subtitles with slight editing according to the also narrative, which is really easy to do. You can then edit this, and from our experience, it took 2 hours of this checking, and you can then can produce this on the YouTube channel that we have, and this will be visible to all of your teachers. So it's really easy to implement. If you have this kind of let's say desire, you just contact us on this email info, and we will reply to you and give you access. So this is the YouTube Studio. It's really easy to do this, and we also have instructions recorded. So how to perform this. You will not be, let's say, alone on this. So you will have one tutorial how to perform this. So on ending with the invitations. So you are welcome to join this initiative. There are more than 30 countries already involved. We have once per year we have this webinar. All the members are invited. Besides of this, we have some in-person meeting, but mostly we are communicating via web. So it's not something, let's say, expensive to join us. So this is all from my side for now, and let's go to Nigel's questions.
Thank you, Gregor. I'm sitting with you, okay?
No, I will stand.
Start at 10 then, Gregor. You said at the start you've been doing fitness testing in your country for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference, an increase in the activity levels of the children over that time?
We don't have an objective measure of physical activity, so we can just observe the physical fitness.
And how's the physical fitness improved?
We have a now really bad situation because I can show you also a slide on this, because this is one of the, let's say, advantages that we can promptly also react on the changes. During the COVID, we noticed the hugest decrease of fitness of our kids, the historical one. And we warned the government that kids alone will not recover, and now this is happening. So we are now during the. I will start with this. During the 2000 and 2010, we have noticed a decrease of fitness, especially in boys, because of changes of the lifestyle. Their strength of arms and shoulder dropped really hard, and according to this, we actually managed to perceive the government that we introduced the national intervention, healthy lifestyle, in primary schools. So almost all schools were involved in this, and during the years 2011 and 2018, we were the country which actually decreased the number of obese and increased the physical fitness of our kids. We were really the star. However, in 2018, we didn't manage to translate this in regular program because it was funded by EU funds. So our increase of fitness stopped or decreased a little bit, and then COVID hits us. and during the COVID dropped on the level of below the level of 2010. We are now somewhere in the level of 2010. So like U-shape, not recovered. So, but
so my sort of thinking is that just because we're testing doesn't mean we're improving.
yeah, correct.
So
Correct.
So moving on.
But can I reply to you on this as well? Because we are testing, we have also surveillance. If we wouldn't have evidence on this, we would not introduce the intervention. Right now, we are introducing, based on this, we are introducing intervention in upper secondary schools. So we managed to convince the government that especially upper secondary schools are endangered. So based on these results, we implemented intervention.
And then that moves on to the question is, what is our purpose as a PE teacher?
Yeah.
Is it to fitness train children, or is it to educate?
Educate. But this not. I strongly believe that this not exclude the fitness exercising. So fitness monitoring and exercising is part of PE job. So it's really important.
But if I mean, I noticed some of the things you used to improve an individual way that they're not sure of standing broadly, for example, and there were activities to do there.
Yeah.
Would a young child, find that interesting, engaging, and they would want to do it?
Yeah, this infographics is for adolescents. Also in the head there is this is the statement. This is for adolescents, of course. PE teachers as well as generalist teachers should adopt their methods according to the target group they have. Yeah. So of course, if we have younger children, we will not go with this. We will go with some, like, let's say, animal movement, etc., to motivate them.
But where's the learning? Where's the progression? Where's the development?
Yeah, this is associated. This is associated, like I emphasized. I strongly believe merging paradigm of fitness monitoring and physical literacy is highly associated with the competencies of teachers. If we will have teachers with low competencies, they can perform really badly, and thus fitness monitoring can be perceived also as a stigma. However, if we would have a PE teacher who has high competencies, and that's why we also developed the instrument, which is implemented now in this intervention, and we will monitor the difference of competencies of teachers, then we have a really huge possibility to increase physical literacy via right physical fitness monitoring and exercising.
But the fitness is just focusing on the physical. It's not looking at the effects of the cognitive.
No, you should look on scenarios. I can show you a scenario on cardiorespiratory, and you will notice over there a lot of elements of cognition. So no, totally not. Because I have to also say that we in Slovenia, we have our own system, MySloFit. But we are using this Fitback toolkit for educating our teachers as well, to see how they should actually perform fitness monitoring. Because this toolkit is really valuable also for our teachers who are doing this for decades. And we, of course, we have also some bad practice. But I can say that our teachers are highly competent. However, of course, we have some bad practice.
Okay, we are going forward. Bruno is the next one, then Gareth, and then Martin.
Yes, and not so far about the thinking of Nigel. My first remark is we have always to take care when there is tests like this to don't have after teaching for testing, because it's a risk. You test about fitness, and after the art of physical education can become a fitness test only to increase the level. If the state say who are the best teacher, and we compare the different tests, we can imagine all those schools, but we can have this kind of movement. So teaching for testing, we know this, like PISA and the impact of this kind of test some teacher and teaching, they delete a part of content just to be sure they will be successful for the test. So this is my first remark. I know you are not only feedback for the definition of physical education, but it's always a risk. The second point is the power of the game. As a PE teacher, we have to don't forget the power of a sport game. If we take care of the children play, it's also a wonderful tools to have an impact, and a very good impact for the fitness. And I would like to compare if you organize PE lessons with your feedback scenario, and me only with my games in handball and football, and the children play. At the end, if we will do, except graphing, if I climb, okay, why not? If I will do the same test at the end, who have the best mark and results? Because sometimes, if we want the children are really motivated, we have to also propose them again interesting, where they take it with a joy, pleasure. And anyway, this kind of test is boring. I don't know if you used to do with the children, and if you do yourself, sometimes it's adult thinking or sport thinking for children who are really motivated to do it. But so with the children who don't want to do, be sure they have a high level of activity. It's not sure.
One remark. So sometimes sport games can be also boring. So any activities can be boring. Depends on the environment.
If you are,
But you are taking wrong, Bruno. You are taking wrong because, of course, physical fitness can be also developed through some games. We have scenario on this, so we are not preaching here that there should be, let's say, HIIT training or something like that. Physical fitness can be practiced through different kind of sports and different kind of, let's say, means. So we are not preaching that doing sports and racket sports, etc., is not associated. So totally not. And going to your first question or first comment. So of course, if you would run the video on fitness testing, you will see that one of the first sentences is that we are not practicing for testing. This is like, let's say, general recommendation. But of course, it's also if you will practice to be good in shuttle run, which is representative for cardiovascular fitness. What the hell? This is good. This is very good. If you would like to be, let's say, the best, so you should have also this kind of perspective. But I know what you are trying to help. What you are trying to say about the comparison of teachers. Of course, for instance, in Slovenia, we do not publicly we don't publicly show what is the fitness level of some particular school, because we know that there are also some other factors influencing fitness level. For instance, we know that this is associated with socioeconomic status, etc. So this is just for the school. They should, and they within their report, they could compare themselves within the region and with the Slovenia, for instance. But we are not publicly showing them you are 101st. You know, they are actually reflecting their own situation, and this is true also in the individual level. Each kid should reflect on his or her scores, not compared to others. And teacher should provide environment which should facilitate this.
One remark, do you have any consequence, I'm just provoking.
Yeah.
Do you have any consequence in a national level from the educational or sport authorities for a school, for a teacher, if their fitness levels not reaching the, I would say, the optimum, or they are producing basically poor numbers in fitness testing? Do you understand me? No consequence. There is any
No.
consequences? No.
No.
Yeah.
No consequences. No.
So there is not a competition,
No.
and there is no evaluation of the teacher.
But we are showing.
And it's openly communicated.
Yeah, but we are showing the picture of specific regions in Slovenia, not schools, but regions.
Yeah.
And we know that this region, for instance, has poorer fitness like the other one. And then we are searching for the, let's say, causes, and we try to address this on the national level as well.
But not in the teacher level, that's
No,
important.
no,
Yes.
no.
Gareth is the next one.
Thank you, Gregor, for that presentation. I think the depth of the feedback is quite impressive, but I'm just wondering if something else might be added. So my slight concern would be about the fact that there's, as you identified, some form of surveillance going on here, which then possibly could affect the affective domain and possibly maybe mental health. So do you think there's any scope for, on the feedback, trying to reassure the child in terms of the fact that this particular situation they find themselves in? Because I think they might just compare their scores, or they might compare their feedback in terms of the percentile comments. Is there scope from saying, look, don't worry too much about where you're at, make them perhaps realise that maturation, obviously I've explained that in their language, maturation could be a factor. And I just wonder whether you've already got that in, or whether you think there's a need to reassure the child.
Yeah.
So they feel fairly comfortable where they're at, and not to think, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble here at this type of thing. Because I get the fact that you're perhaps not comparing scores from child to child. Children are not aware of the scores compared to. They will talk to each other, I'm sure, and they will compare what that feedback might be. I just wonder if there's a bit of scope for that little bit of a softer touch in terms of don't worry where you are, etc.
Yeah, thank you to mention this. This is one also aspect within these competencies. So we found out that this is actually the one factor, and we are addressing this issue in not just in one video, but not like a separate one, and maybe we should have separate one like just for this. While I have to say that it is important that teacher should also present the health risk criteria over there, because, for instance, health risk criteria to go to the yellow zone, this is intermediate, it's of course above, it's under the average. It's not, let's say, if you would use the centiles, you could get an impression, okay, I'm not good. However, if I would show you the results over there, you can see that each child could actually progress to the yellow zone, and this should be emphasized by teacher. Okay, here you are right now in the red zone. However, we can set this target. I have shown you within the group report, and through the next 6 months, we will work to improve these components, and this kid understand what will be done and how will be done, and then he or she can see if the progress was done, and to achieve, let's say, to progress to the yellow zone. So this should be individualized approach to each of the kids according to the current level of the fitness. And I think this is also the same approach should be taken when it comes to also the physical activity recommendations. So, for instance, if you have one kid with currently 10 minutes of MVPA, you should not set him or her the goal of 60 minutes. First goal should be 30 minutes, etc. So we have here this kind of step-by-step approach. So not go immediately, let's say, on the green zone. Let's first go to the yellow zone, and then we will progress even more. And what is good for when it comes to these centiles, this is a motivation for those who are more advanced. So they are already in the fit zone, but they can see if they are progressing even more. So it's worth to have also these kind of centiles, and also we don't have exact solution for kids with special needs. So over there, maybe this comparison with centiles is good. However, it should be really carefully interpreted by teachers. We know that they will be in low centiles, of course, but if they will progress for 4th centile to the 7th centile, this is very good for them. We don't have better approach because it's really impossible to create centiles for different groups of kids with special needs because there are so many categories.
Thank you.
Martin is the next one, but please be short because we have only 3 minutes.
So I should speak.
And Walter is also wants to say, Yanis. So almost everyone. So this can be a discussion for the dinner. So, go, Martin.
I really like the discussion about Nigel, what you brought in. So I think on the one hand, it's a kind of data reduction. So with certain test items, you want to predict from a construction point of view the concept of physical fitness or health-related fitness. So one tries to reduce data. But then on the other hand, when you ask, okay, what about the PE teacher? How can we motivate children or what? Of course, most of us would agree we don't train the shuttle run or the wrist grip. But in my country, we have a big discussion also because you mentioned the learning. So many of the PE teachers in my country are convinced that a kind of practicing or repetition is necessary for the learning process. And it's not always about fun or so you know it as a swimmer, how often you trained for the freestyle, or Tamas with the goalie, how much did you repeat it? And when we see the word training, where it evolved from, it was from the horse to the train. So it was to make it more efficient and go from the pure practicing to a more systematically repetition or make it more efficient in the training process. So I think it's good to also take that into account, that the learning is only possible once you repeat a certain movement several times. But of course, we would not recommend the hand grip. We rather recommend you climbing or do something with the ring gymnastics or whatever, which is obviously more motivating or more fun for the children. But in the end, it's a question of how much time do you want to invest and how many repetitions do you do. And then, of course, learning is possible. Without, it's impossible.
And that's one of the things I was going to say. What sort of percentage is related to fitness in your programs?
I don't understand.
How much of your time do you spend on fitness within your physical education?
Okay. Yeah. It actually each hour could have some component of fitness. However, we have without our curricula, we have also specific chapter which is devoted to this. But we are using different kind of topics to address the fitness issue.
Walter is the next one.
I don't have
Number
any
5.
questions yet.
Yanis?
I will spend only 30 seconds.
Okay. Start.
And I believe, congratulations about your presentation. And in my school, we have for several years about this testing. The students were very satisfied about it. And I believe the students understood that the evaluation is for themselves, not for other students. And on the other hand, this is the material for PE teacher about grades, because every parent considers that his son and daughter are very excellent in PE.
Okay, just short reply. So within our group, we are strongly against the grading with fitness testing because we believe this is not appropriate way, that the grades should be associated with other outcomes, just to know. I know that in some countries they use fitness testing for grading, but our network do not support this.
Hassel?
Yes, just a short remark. I had a couple of days ago a conversation with one PE teacher, and she said that they did this feedback test, and now during the breaks every day, boys want to do shuttle run test. They use this stand grip test, but not only testing these things, they also practice how to be better. They are doing push-ups during the breaks and so on. And what I think exactly the same, the teacher don't put the grade after this testing because it's health related, but they get also, the students get feedback. When they get grade, what I'm doing with this grade. But when I get feedback, I know also that I can do push-ups, for example, that I can make my hand like strength better and so on and so on. And I wasn't the biggest fan of testing, but now using feedback test a couple of years already, I see that we really can motivate even these students who are not so like good ones in the, and they really want to do different exercises. They want to see when we testing like twice in a year this we are doing this test, and I be better after this after a year when I did some exercises even during the weekend with friends and so on.
Great.
Okay, so I would close this with a handshake with Gregor in front of the feedback because of that was a dissemination for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gregor, for being in Budapest, and thank you for sharing this information.